Once a season, the Area iRacing League puts on a show like no other. You can sort of call it a throwback night, but it's not just the paint that's old school. We're at Atlanta Motor Speedway circa 2008 with the Generation 4 NASCAR Cup cars for the Season 6 Area All-Star Race. Tonight is a little bit of everything: eliminations, the short race, cash prizes, and the best part of all, horsepower. Tonight, leave the points behind, leave the cares behind. You're either bringing home a cash prize and a make-believe trophy, or you're upside down and sideways in the grass on the front stretch. All-star, all effort, all excitement in the Season 6 Area All-Star Race. Hi, everybody. Kyle Heyer, joined by Hunter Sleppy and Finian DeCuna for this once-a-season entertaining evening of action, kicking things off with the All-Star Open before we head into the 75-lap main race. Finian DeCuna, welcome aboard.
Yeah, happy Labor Day, everyone. And while most people are normally kind of kicking it back, got an ice cold one in their hand, these drivers are getting gloved up and ready to go. Not for some points, they get to relax in that department, but a cash money prize on the line for these drivers out here tonight. We have the Open coming up in just a short while, with these drivers getting ready to just get into the main show. And there's quite a few drivers under that are dying to get in.
Yeah, looking at some notable names here, like Justin Sogak, Garrett Graham, Bryce Sundesack, and then looking at Max Service as well, Ricky Springer, Matthew Morton. Even your name's on here, Finian DeCuna, at least temporarily. But, yeah, guys are going to want to be fighting for that $100 prize if they win the main event, Kyle. And should be a fun one tonight at Old Atlanta.
Yeah, this is a really fun treat. You've got the old Cup cars. The Generation 4 stock cars have more power and different levels of downforce, so we'll be chasing the car around all night tonight on a relatively warm surface as well. It's not hot, but it is warm out there. 79 degrees in the air, 113 on the racetrack. But this is the Open, a 40-lap race split into two 20-lap stages with the caution in the middle. And the leading driver from the first stage and the top two drivers from the second stage finishing advance to the All-Star race, which will have two 20-lap cash dash races and then a 35-lap main event with $100 to the winner.
Yeah, these drivers have a lot to look forward to, and for the drivers in the Open, it's going to be a lot of racing in general. You got the 40 laps here, then another 20-lap twin duels that'll be in the main race, and then the 35-lap main event, which is where all that $100 prize money is going to be on the line. So these drivers right now in the middle of warm-up, qualifying just completed for the Open, and not a whole lot of drivers actually getting their times down. Only 8 drivers of the 16 in this event have put a qualifying time down. So a couple drivers maybe potentially want to lay it near the back, maybe wait to see what happens in this race and maybe make their move after the first 20 laps.
Yeah, no fan vote for this season's All-Star race, so only 3 drivers getting in, the winner from the first stage in this Open, and then the top 2 at the end of this one. So no fan vote to rely on, so you got to go all out, and maybe we'll see the 38 of Patrick Moose get up and make a name for himself in the Open.
Yeah, here's a look on the left-hand side of the screen of the competitors that are in this Open event. There's a lot of names on this list, excluding Finian DeCuna, that deserve to be in the All-Star race a little bit later tonight. And when you look at the number of drivers that move on, it is a small fraction of those that are on this list. As we mentioned, 1 at the end of the first 20 laps, and then 2 at the end of the race will advance. And there's so many good drivers that deserve to be in. I think you look at a guy like Ricky Springer. How is he not in already is the question I have to ask Finian, and I bet he'll be one to watch.
It's just been a while since we've seen him in Victory Atlanta. Of course, that's where we see where most of the qualifiers for the All-Star race itself have made their names in and already put their name in the hat. But for Ricky Springer, one of those drivers that just hasn't been able to get it to click. He's had some really decent finishes. He also had some unfortunate luck and some poor finishes to combine. So it hasn't gotten the name in the win column in a year, or at least in a season, I should say. And so looking to see if he can get back in that spot. Can make it in. I think definitely going to be a favorite tonight in the number 51 machine.
Yeah, and this is going to be kind of a preview of what to expect for the end of the area this season, because this is the championship event being hosted for all 3 series. Although it will be in a different car, but these guys kind of get a feel somewhat as to how their car is going to handle in the corners and especially on those straightaways from Old Atlanta.
Yeah, this is such a unique racetrack in so many ways because, you know, we don't have it anymore. We've got the new version of Atlanta, which is repaved. It sort of races like a super speedway now. But this is classic NASCAR. This is really old school. You're going to be lifting, braking for the corners, turning down in. But I think very specific drivers tend to do well with this kind of racing. Finney and others might embrace the plate race style more. They won't get to do that neither in the finale nor tonight. Can you learn a lot from tonight? Maybe not, because everyone's motivation is to the front rather than kind of racing smart, but we have seen some really thrilling all-star races in the past in the area series, and I don't think tonight is any exception, especially with how tight this timeline is. In 20 laps, we send someone through.
Yeah, it is a tight timeline. That's going to be more anticipation for these drivers just trying to get down and perform because they don't have a whole lot of time to do it, especially to start near the back.
Well, before we get rolling here tonight, race fans, make sure you subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. As a subscriber, you'll have Area iRacing emotes to use in the chat, and you can earn double channel points that you can use to redeem for free merchandise for just $5 a month. Join today at twitch.tv/Area iRacing. And our starting grid sponsor is Central Mobile Homes. If you're looking for a small or large home, a new shed, or a Triple Crown trailer, look no further than Central Mobile Homes. They've been proudly serving Florida customers for 28 years with a plethora of small and large home floor plans, shed designs, and Triple Crown trailers. Available in LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring. Head to CentralMobileHomesInc.com to get started today. Take me through the starting lineup here, Finian. Row 1 is Justin Enesogak and Patrick Moose kicking things off. Who you got in row number 2?
In row number 2, we got Seth Berger lined up in the number 5 machine, and outside of him, Ed Robertson, the 64, going to line up in 4th.
Row 3, Braxton DeWeese, who has had some strong runs as of late, will roll off in P5. Garrett Grant starts 6th in the number 14.
Then we head on to Bryce Senizak. He's going to be starting 7th in the 09 machine. Next to him is going to be Jeremy Brown in 8th position in the number 3. The last of the drivers put down a qualifying time.
Yeah, all these drivers are just ordered the other way. Matthew Morton, no time on the board. Matthew Morton starts 9th in the number 15. Michael Van Abel in the number 77 rolls off in 10th.
Moving on back to 11 is going to be Douglas Hewing in the number 7 in 11. Next to him, Brent Ficari lined up in the 35 in 12th place.
13th place, Ricky Springer in the number 51. Max Service rolls off alongside him in 14th. Work to do for the number 81.
And moving on back in behind him, it's going to be Emerson Arden in 15th in the number 57. Next to him, Ray Slate lined up 16th in the number 8.
All right, guys, let's do it a little different. Pick's a little different tonight. I want you guys to tell me the 3 drivers that advance. So it's not one pick tonight, you're picking all 3. Who goes through? Hunter, you can start.
So it's going to be interesting because these guys don't want to go flat out in the beginning, so I'm going to go with someone from the front row is going to advance early. Just saying Enesogak is going to be my pick, and then the next 2, hard to say. I'm going to go with Braxton DeWeese and Michael Venable.
Finian, who you got?
For me, wait, sorry, how are we picking this again?
Pick your 3 that advance.
Oh, okay. I think for me, I'm feeling Ricky Springer in the 51, Justin Enesogak in the 88, and I think I'm going to go with Garrett Gray in the 14.
All right, I'm going to roll with the front row. I think Enesogak and Moose both move on, and then I'm going to take the 51 of Ricky Springer as well. We'll see how that... I'm not sure if Curran's going to count this week or not, but we'll see how that pans out as far as who is advanced.
If there are no points on the line, I don't think there should be points for us on the line.
Maybe there's some cash prizes on the line is what we should say. We might have to look back and see who we picked earlier if we forget. But tonight we're racing this first race to get spots in the All-Star race. 3 drivers advance, 1 after lap 20, the other 2 at the end of the race. Green flag in the area All-Star open. 1 car already sideways at the start-finish line. That was Seth Berger. He does not go, and the rest of the field now side by side into the opening corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure the power caught him off guard or what that was, but he just couldn't get the car up to speed in time, so he immediately jumps to the back of the field. He's already put himself in a hole. Meanwhile, up for second place, I should say, Ted Robinson from 3rd, fighting with Braxton DeWeese in the number 13.
DeWeese going to clear, but then it's side by side between Patrick Moose, Garrett Grant there on the bottom, and then here comes Matthew Morton on the outside.
Bryce Senizak in the number 09's got cars ahead of him here. Horsepower and a lack of downforce, and maybe some more downforce than cars like the Xfinity car, but it just handles it so differently, and this is all very foreign car to those that haven't done it in a while. And those that have practiced, I think it's going to show tonight, as just ahead Morton and Moose are nose to tail there for 4th. And look at this battle side by side down the backstretch.
Yeah, side by side fight. It's Garrett Grant and the number 5. Sorry, 14. I'm so used to him, the number 5. He's got the 5 on the door, 14 on the track, trying to work with the 95, and that's actually the 77 of Vinale in the 77 machine working on through. Running on behind, there's 51 of Ricky Springer trying to make some traffic on the high side. And a car on the wall. That's Morton, and almost makes contact with him.
Morton going to stay in the wall, trying to avoid the rest of the cars coming through on the bottom, but Just shows how multi-groovable, if that's even a word, this racetrack is. The top, middle, bottom lanes all being used, and Robertson trying to take third away, going to get close. He's going to come low on Patrick Moose.
Yeah, this is so much fun to watch these drivers just throw these cars around. It's so different than the racing that we see on a nightly basis throughout the week. Now, I'm not saying that the current cars race poorly. They certainly don't. But when you look at cars like this, there's just so much more manhandling that's happening on these cars to get them to rotate, to get them to stay straight when you want them to. And Braxton Deweese is going for the lead on Justin Anasogak.
Wasting no time. He feels now is the time to strike. He wants to be the one that gets in immediately at the 20 lap mark when we get the first caution to come out. But Anasogak's putting up a fight because he knows he can easily be on through. Doesn't have to worry about finishing the rest of this race. He's going to take the high side to defend, try to work with that run off the corner. He's going to try to push and going to push those tires on the inside.
And not much side draft there. He's going to tuck back in line. Anasogak using that outside lane to his advantage for corner exits. Now Deweese going to run the tire track, see if he can try and generate a run. Here he comes through 4.
Here they come out of turn 4 now. Deweese trying to build some momentum on the inside. These cars don't have the strength to side draft that the modern cars do. And Deweese is going to drive to the bottom here in 1 and 2. Is he going to try to clear the 88? He slides up, but not quite enough to get around Anasogak just yet.
Yeah, he's still pushing hard. Meanwhile, Patrick Moose in the 38 machine, he's kind of looking at these two, eyeing them up, looking like he may have a shot. Meanwhile, behind them, there's a battle for position. Matthew Morton working on Ray Slate. Slate up on top, Morton up on the bottom. And still side by side, almost equal footing between them off of turn 4.
Side-by-side battle for the 9th spot. Meanwhile, Michael Venable and Ed Robertson, they were swapped in positions at one point. Robertson now clear for the 4th as Morton's still trying to clear Rafe Slade, and he's not going to be able to do it.
And look at the run that Slate got on the top side of the racetrack, just like we're running at Homestead. If you want to run way up against the outside wall, there is speed to be had there, but there's equal speed on the bottom if you know how to apply it just right. And Deweese is reeling Anasogak back in, but Patrick Moose is sitting there in 3rd place watching these two battle and maybe sizing up his own effort here as we complete lap 7.
Yeah, as you're watching the further couple battles further down the order, I saw Braxton Deweese last lap decided to run the high line a little bit offset from Anasogak, kind of like what we're seeing him doing now. Trying to see if he can make up some more ground. Feels like it's better for him on his tires, I think. Kind of slightly right in his tire track. See again, just slightly offset. He's going to actually dive down low and might have a decent run off the corner here.
Ooh, almost touching back there for the 4th spot as they're side by side down the front stretch. Deweese with a solid run heading into turn 1. Anasogak up high, just going to drive it in deep, but the 88's just keeping it stuck on that outside lane.
Gosh, I would love to race these cars every week. I don't think it would get old. Look at this side-by-side battle for the top spot. Deweese working over Anasogak now as we are almost halfway through this first stage in which only the leader will advance to the All-Star race.
See 13 Deweese get really tight mid-corner and push Anasogak up the track just a little bit as everyone else moves. Robertson and the 77 all closing in behind.
That was a big send, big send, slide job for the 13, way up the racetrack and into the wall.
He gave it the Hail Mary, but that's going to cost him dearly because here comes Patrick Moose. He's going to come on the rebound, going to move himself up to 2nd place, and so we'll let Robertson take advantage as well. So he tried to make the move to secure the lead, and it's going to cost him. I don't know if he's got enough laps or enough car to get back there.
Might depend on how much damage he has on the right side as well. We still have 30 laps left in this, so even if you don't get first at the end of this first stage, Kyle, you still have the 2nd stage to stay inside the top 2, but he's fighting to stay inside 3rd as he's got Michael Venable to his outside.
And that was the move I would have pulled on lap 19, maybe not lap 10, but he's got his hands full now. Back to 3rd place, though. I don't know that the speed's completely gone yet, but he might have used up a lot of his luck coins there in one corner.
So trying to clear himself on through.
Dealing
with Venable, who will get around him for 3rd place. Keep him ahead of him for 3rd place. Meanwhile, further on behind, this battle's starting to heat up in behind Ricky Springer, kind of the cork in the bottle at the moment. Matthew Morton looking up on the top side, double zooming. He just trying to make the pass on Sedizak in behind. They're drag racing themselves on the back straightaway for 8th place.
Yeah, 6 on back. It's this bottleneck, like you mentioned. Now Morin looks to the outside of Springer for that position. Newbigging still trying to clear himself around Senesac for 8th on the racetrack, and then Garrett Grant holding clear of 10th for now from Rafe Slate. So a lot of battles even outside the top 5.
Can't remember how it turned out, but wasn't it the All-Star race back a couple of seasons ago? To see that 09 Senesac getting the wall. Ooh, big wiggle there. We came out of turn 4 at at Charlotte, and it just went all to hell. Remember that?
Yep.
I can't remember who was in it, but I'm pretty sure that Ed Robertson was one of those drivers, and I'm pretty sure that Douglas Newbigging was one of the others.
And Robertson was the second driver to make it,
right?
Even caught up in that crash.
Whoa, big sideways moment on the front straightaway for Rafe Slate. He just kicked out the rear halfway down the front stretch.
Yeah, all these guys are getting a little bit loose and sideways because they're pushing really, really hard because they know that the caution's coming up. They have a chance to get a pit stop. Also want to add to these drivers, we're going to have one set of tires for this race to add on. So I imagine everyone's going to be coming on down there to get those fresh set of Goodyears in just a couple laps time. But Patrick Moose is trying to see if he can get past Anders Sogek, who's led every single lap of this race, the number 88, but 38 is trying to change that.
From Sports on the hood, living up to the name, as here comes Michael Venable, listed as a 77, but running a completely different number. He's going to try and slot himself in the middle. He's going to do just that. Unbelievable with 5 to go from the first stage.
Yeah, that was full confidence that that 77 was going to land exactly where he thought it was. And look at this run now to the inside of Anders Sogek. He's taken all this right to the front, maybe saved a little tire. Big slide out of 4 as Venable tries to steal a spot from Anders Sogek.
He's pushing that right rear really hard, trying to get the car to rotate and get on the gas as early as he can to get the run off the corner, but it's really tough to fight. We've seen the outside lane be the easiest to defend. If Venable's got enough of a charge to gonna make some contact out of turn 2, door-to-door contact between both of them, but Anders Sogek still got the slightly better run heading into turn 3.
Going to use that outside lane to his advantage as much as he can. Venable fighting hard on the inside. Patrick Moose again just waiting in the wings, ready for something to strike and then pounce on it whenever there's an opportunity. But these guys are dead even at the line, almost.
Venable's making ground contact into turn 1. There goes the 77. Big wiggle. They save it somehow. Slides way up the racetrack, and he's out of it. Here comes the 38 to the rescue, trying to grab second place back from Venable.
And Patrick Moose was riding almost up on the wall, but just an inch off of it to get a slingshot around the outside of Venable, and he will get it done up to second. And a Sogek now has to worry about not one but 2 cars chasing him down here in the last couple laps before the stage break.
Patrick Moose now on the bumper again of Anders Sogek, ready to pounce again. Anders Sogek ducks low. He's going to go back up. Now he's going to leave a little bit of space open for Patrick Moose, but not so much. Here he comes, though, with a run on the inside.
This is the best cars in iRacing, guys, aren't they? Look at this. This has been fantastic. 18 laps in. Here comes Patrick Moose back to the bottom. He wants more.
He's going to try to see if he can make that dive. Again, no one's been able to steal the spot away from Anders Sogek while making a move on the inside.
Oh, big wiggle.
Running out of laps in time as he's going to have a big wiggle off of turn 4.
And just 2 laps remaining for Anders Sogek, and he'll be clear into the All-Star Open. Well, from the Open to the main event, as these guys are still side by side throughout the rest of the field, but it's all Anders Sogek all the way up on that outside wall.
Yeah, he's doing a great job defending. He didn't even flinch when the 77 was down there beating and banging on the quarter panel. He wants in, and he's only going to have a lap and a half left to do it.
Oh, nose to tail, Moose building up the run. Here we go. White flag in the air for the stage.
It's the completion of lap 20, so Anders Sogek's got to make it one more time around, and here comes Moose to the inside, looking for another shot at that lead, but I don't know if he's going to have enough heading into 3 and 4.
Moose is going to have one more set of corners. It wasn't bad, though, despite him giving up time on the exit. It's going to have to be a big Hail Mary. Can he qualify in to the area all-star race? 2 corners left. Venable goes up the racetrack. Moose throttles up to try to get there. Justin Anders Sogek puts on a defense like the Great Wall of China through 3 and 4. Anders Sogek's in the All-Star race.
Can't say he didn't earn that. He fought off really hard there the entire run, basically.
What a battle.
Unbelievable racing. And at first, these cars were a mistake. They weren't even supposed to be out, but they were, and then they got popular feedback, so then they just kept it in, and I'm glad they kept it in because look at the racing that we've seen just in the first 20 laps. This isn't even for the main event. This is just to get in.
And this is just, every time we run these cars, I'm reminded of how spectacular they are to watch battles. And I mean, this fight here into turn one, are you kidding me, guys?
In fact, they were able to save that as well.
Oh, man.
Awesome stuff.
So caution out, and Anna Sogak will pull off the racetrack. His job is done. Who had Anna Sogak on their list? I did.
I did.
All right, so pole sitter's through. Now the next guy I picked is leading the race now, and my other pick is 7th.
My pick is 7th, and where is Garrett? He is 10th.
My picks are 2nd and 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah, they both had a shot at Anna Sogak, but there was just no getting around the 88.
No, he was just, what a great defense he had there as the field rolls down pit lane. I was just wondering, guys, is there any world in which you strategize and don't take tires now, and then you wait for a potential for a yellow? I mean, if you're,
I feel like that's.
if you're out, listen, if you're outside of the top 10, what else can you do, right? Because if you have tires and you get a caution in 10 or 15 laps, you are going to win this race.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Braxton Deweese, he overshot his pit stall, so he's going to be losing a couple spots.
If you're waiting on the yellow and you take 2 tires, you're probably going to be the yellow because you're probably disadvantaged with tires.
Oh, Deweese is still in his stall.
Well, he did have contact with the outside wall, so pretty sure he was going to have to repair as much damage as he can. It's going to be a 16 lap stint to the finish?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, it doesn't look so bad. I think it was worth spending the time to fix that with such a small field. And
I will say I am surprised that no one came in before the caution came out to try to get tires and get it and stay out there.
I think you want them the freshest they can be with the tire wear that you'd expect here, especially when you're driving the wheels off these cars like we're watching drivers do tonight. They are not holding back, right? This is a short race. There's no tire conservation. You're just eating up. If there's any tread left on those Goodyears, you did not do your job well tonight.
Actually, I retract my previous statement. I think if they did that, they would have gone a lap down. So,
well, there you
never
go.
mind that.
And you're not going on the Ferrari pit box.
I was gonna say, good thing I'm not driving, but technically I am in the service still. I can get out there and race if I wanted to.
You'd be in the Ferrari pit box, but you'd still be in victory lane.
Well, they got lucky one time, all right? Well, we're going to get a restart with 15 laps to go. And other than a couple drivers getting up into the wall, we haven't seen any incidents of note so far.
Oh, now you said it.
It was going to get crazy one way or the other. You guys knew that. Dangle a couple $100 in front of people, they're going to go for it.
Yeah, come on.
I got to be honest.
Also, they did a great job keeping it clean, but fighting hard the first run.
Yeah, that was excellent. Would this not be distracting to you?
It is very distracting. It's like, not necessarily the RGB itself, but it's transitioning quickly.
Well,
like
it's just
too
that,
quickly for me.
Yeah, I mean, if it was slower, maybe, but
I think the cardboard cutout would be too distracting for me. I feel like I'd have someone watching me all the time. Which Bryce is hoping to channel some of that inner Casey Kane-esque magic in that 09. He has won an All-Star race in the past. Casey Kane did, not Senesac, but he's looking. Not yet. There's still hope. He can lock himself in tonight, and then he could drive up to the front and put on a clinic.
we'll see if he can do just that. We're going to get the 1 to green this time by. Patrick Moose is your race leader, and he is elected for the inside lane for the restart. That's almost your automatic go-to at Atlanta, Finian.
Yeah, I was not too surprised there. I think he's going to hope to get a decent launch and then get out and away. What's got to do with the 77, who's been very strong, 64 and 51. Ricky Springer, he's up there in 4th. Haven't seen a lot of him because he's been trying to work his way from the back to the front. Now 51, arguably in position to fight. See what he can do.
Would keep an eye on Deweese. I'm not just saying that because I picked him, but he did have a fast car in the opening stint of the All-Star Open, and he did take time to pit and repair whatever damage he had on the right side. So to me, Kyle, that tells me he's confident in the speed that he's got to meet that 13. That it is worth staying a few extra seconds in that pit box to repair the damage.
Well, I think he's quick, and He's got confidence and gusto. I like that in a race like this. You just got to channel it and time it right. I think that was the only part missing from the first half of this race for him. It was just the timing was a little wrong. We'll see what pans out in the next 15 laps. A little shorter than the first stint. That means you can drive a little harder if you can stand it. Patrick Moose, Michael Venable, your front two for the restart. The Area All-Star Open continues. 15 laps to go and we're back underway at Atlanta.
Garrett Grant did not get a good jump at all.
No, he did not. Almost 3 wide for a second there. Gets back to double file as they work their way through turn 1. Never mind, as it goes back to 3 wide nearly again. Still tight quarters. Bryce Senezek will secure the top line, trying to get around Brent Kari. Garrett Grant going to try to follow on through. Ray Slate also going to try to charge through middle. 3 wide for him.
And they're door-to-door in the back half of that top 10 as Slade making his nose poking through the middle. Bukari on the inside, Grant on the outside with is Matthew Moore to the outside as well. And up front fighting for third, but they got to get inside the top 2.
Yeah, that was the dicey moment there. I think Bunkari just said, all right, guys, you want it that bad? Well, I'll sit back here and watch you guys wreck, and I'll pick up the pieces later. But there goes Ricky Springer past Newbegin for 3rd place as Venable runs at the tire tracks of Patrick Moose.
Yeah, but he's going to be, at the moment, he's secure. So he doesn't really need to win this race. That being said, I'm sure he doesn't want to be looking down Ricky Springer, who's got hungry eyes, and going to try to catch back up to him to get that spot. Douglas Newbegin, he's also riding in the coattails as well. Top 4 fairly close together, and Braxton Deweese already back up in 5th, so he's back in this battle for the top. I'm back, boys.
Yeah, he made up 5 spots in that half lap on the restart. He's looking to make up another spot here, forces Newbegin low. Going to look to the outside, and no one's going to run it, so might as well make it known for him.
Yeah, he ran it in 1 and 2 as well, and everyone else kind of ran the bottom, so he's saying, well, if you guys won't take the fast line, I will, but at the expense of his tires, maybe.
Yeah, tires. You don't really need tires that much. Force them
Only
as hard as you want.
Oh, wow, he's so close to the outside wall, Hunter.
This is a shorter stint than the opening stage, so a few less laps on the tires. He's already up to 4th. He's going to look to get around Springer for 3rd, but Springer's looking to get 2nd from Venable.
Yeah, Springer to the bottom here in 3 and 4, right against that white line. Venable up the racetrack. Deweese is going to have a big run on both of them here. Out of 4, using that higher lane. Now does Springer go up to block it? Yes, he will.
Yes, he does.
Deweese to the bottom.
Goes low into turn 1, having a look, and a throw it up the inside, and Springer going to look to the inside of Venable. 3 wide for just about a second between all of them, and Deweese has to back off. He can't afford to push it as he's going to go up into Springer, so he'll have to settle for 4th place at the moment. Springer trying to fight off 4th place, but trying to get 2nd place if he can. But the 77 putting up a fight. Patrick Moose is saying, sayonara, see you guys. You can fight amongst yourselves.
Yeah, Moose is encouraging this battle to continue, but the more they stay single file, the less helpful it is for Moose, because that just allows Venable to regroup and refocus and potentially close in on passing him for the lead in this last 10 laps or so. But Springer fighting on that middle lane to get around Venable.
I think Ricky looks good for P2, but I think that his challenge is going to be Braxton Deweese. He's going to be the mosquito in the ear here. Kind of buzzing around contact.
Oh.
Springer gets turned. He saves it.
Oh, and Springer going to try to fight off.
Oh, up into Deweese.
Douglas Newbegin, contact again between both of them. Oh, boy.
Well, that about took both of them out of it, even if they didn't crash. But there's still 9 laps left, but Moose and Venable smooth sailing. Half a second between Venable and Newbegin.
Yeah, that little move, it's like Interstellar. That little move cost him 84 years, didn't it? Here comes Ed Robertson down to the inside of Senezek. This is for 4th place, but if they can't make up a few more positions, it's all for naught here.
I'm watching him behind here. I want to see what happens between Ricky Springer and Deweese. Deweese did apologize. There we go. Oh, Springer goes up to block. He gets turnaround. Caution out.
That's on the 50. Oh, we're spinning behind him as well, coming through. Another car was, well, they didn't spin. There was a car sideways there. I believe it was Matthew Morton coming across the nose of Garrett Grant. I don't know how he saved it. He was super sideways in the quad oval. But, yeah, Ricky Springer came up, and you knew he was going to be aggressive with the 13, and it ended up wrecking himself in the wall.
Well, you know what they say about aggressive.
Goes around.
Aggressive goes around. Now, I saw this brewing because I think there was more to the incident than we really got. I mean, Ricky looked cool, calm and collected, but how you know, that was a frustrating situation. They watched up out of turn 4. And they just go in the fence. And I think it was it Max No, there's the 18 of Morton. That was a great save there.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I thought he was going to spin in front of Garrett Grant and collect him in a wreck, but yeah, here was the move. I'm not quite sure how this took place.
Dewey did apologize. He said he just threw it into the corner too hard.
Yeah.
That's the thing about these next gen. They're not the next gen, Kyle, but these cars are more pointed towards the front, and any contact with the rear gets them up and lifts the rear tires off the ground.
Hey guys, one of the drivers tried the strategy that I pointed out earlier, and Jeremy Brown, see the jack go down. He's got tires, Finian. So he did exactly what I suggested earlier, which was to skip out on tires, anticipate a yellow, and then have a huge advantage. And the other driver that did that is Seth Berger. So those two are now going to charge through this field. They're going to not have a lot of laps, Finian, but they're going to look like superheroes.
Yeah, I was going to say, the question is, do they have quick enough cars to make it through the field? Brown, I'm a little bit hesitant on. Berger did have a decent, I shouldn't say decent, slightly better time in practice, but still not enough to the overwhelming pace where I think he can really maximize the tires in such a short time frame. And that's really going to be, I think, the big thing is that it might be too little too late.
And we'll see if they have a Kyle Busch-like restart like we saw last night in the Southern 500. Man, back-to-back weeks, just I don't know how his luck has turned into this.
Yeah. Patrick Moose leading this race. He's led pretty much everything since the restart. And it'll be a 4-lap run to the end. We get an extra pace lap around here because it's one of iRacing's older tracks. So it'll be a 4-lap run. I think you might be right, Finian. I don't know that they're going to have enough time to really utilize all those tires. If they were 5th or 6th, I think it'd be easy.
If they had 10 laps, I might say it may be within the realm of possibility. But 4 laps, they're going to have to hope the entire field kind of wrecks themselves up ahead, similar to what we've seen in the past to really
well, it's not counted out
of it.
I guess, but
I think it might be enough time. They definitely don't need another yellow in between the restart and the finish, so that's one thing they cannot let happen. But four laps, I think, is plenty enough time to get up towards at least the top 5, maybe.
Well, top 5 might as well be 16th. We'll see what the rest of this race has in store for us. Justin Adesogak is just sitting and watching. His job is complete. Patrick Moose, I think I would have felt a lot better if this race gone green to the end, because he was pretty much an unstoppable force out there, and Venable wasn't able to poke holes in it like he was with Justin Adesogak.
Yeah, I feel like Venable, I don't think he's got enough tire to really work, but he was pushing pretty hard on that opening run. So I just don't think that he's going to have enough to get back at Moose. I could be wrong. And someone actually just yelled it out in the in-game chat, and definitely something you got to keep track of, is the wheel spin on the restart, because we haven't seen a restart with these drivers on worn-out tires. So that's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. I mean, we saw Seth Berger, he qualified really well, qualified 3rd, but set him back in the first place further down the field because he spun his tires on the opening start.
Oh boy. 2 spots on the line, Kyle, and this ain't even for money yet.
Doesn't matter. You dangle the idea of money. These guys will Tony Stewart this all the way to the end. They'll wreck their mom and your mom on the way to trying to get to the victory lane here tonight. This has just been so fun. These cars, the only feedback I would have about running these cars is if they were to do it on a more regular basis, is to have everyone run the same era of decals.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm on board with the new stuff. But if you're gonna go new and new, or old and old, but
well, we missed Brent Picard. He's running a Peugeot out there, so that's not even the right continent.
No, it looks the part though. But let's see how things pan out. The last 4 laps of the Area All-Star Open. The top 2 advance. Green flag. We're back underway in the Area All-Star Open. Big wheel spin from Doug Newbeging, and the 88 even spun tires trying to get going.
Yes, Bryce Senezak as well on the top side. He's struggling to get going, caused a stack up. Matthew Morton up on the top side, trying to find a way on through. Braxton Deweese in the middle of the thick of it. He can charge up there and pass 5 cars to get in. Meanwhile, 3 wide almost for the lead.
3x3 going into the turn. It's Newbigging all the way on the bottom, Moose in the middle, and then Venable trying to power on that outside lane.
Patrick Moose was the dominant force in the second half of this race, but he's got cars inside, he's got cars outside. 3 laps to go, and there's a huge mess of cars behind him, Finian.
3 cars fighting for 2 spots. 3 wide still in turn 1. It looks like Venable's going to back out of it. Moose, that allows him to take the top side and power on through. Here comes Venable backing out of it. That was smart. He got the top side back again on the back straightaway.
Deweese off pace. He was in the wall back there, but now it's side by side for a second.
Oh, Venable on the wall.
Venable hit the wall going into 3. Newbigging going to try and clear himself off turn 4, but even with the wall contact, he's still fighting.
Venable throttled up, got big time sideways, trying to corral the horsepower in that car. Remains third place. Senesac closes in from behind. Everyone just throwing the car into the corner. Newbigging back to the bottom.
Seth Berger's up to 5th place. He might have a shot at this.
He's side by side with Senesac for 4th. Newbigging all over the bumper of Moose, but it's the top 2. Doesn't need to go aggressive and pass Moose for the win, but Berger gonna have one more lap to try and get into the top 2.
He's now to 4th place. White flag waves, Finian. Final lap around, and Patrick Moose and Newbigging are in right now. What will it be in a mile and a half?
So a big run for Venable and Seth Berger. Depends what Newbigging's going to do with the fence. He's going to stick it in the middle. I wouldn't have done that. He should have gone low because here comes Seth Berger with the fresh tires on the bottom.
Berger side by side with Newbigging off turn 2. Venable all over the bumper of Newbigging, side by side down the backstretch, heading into 3 for the final time. Transfer spot on the line.
Here we go. Who's going to get in? Patrick Moose out in front, 3 wide for 2nd place. Seth Berger on fresh tires trying to get there. Newbigging up the racetrack. Venable in the wall. Patrick Moose and Seth Berger are in the Area All-Star race.
Wow, I have to eat my words. I can't believe he did it. Wow, what a charge.
Wow.
Before it was just the perfect amount of time to get up inside, at least to the top 5, let alone transfer spot. And Patrick Moose, Seth Berger, they did just that. And they're going to be, along with Justin Sogak, in the All-Star race.
What a race. That was a sign of things to come. This is going to be a fun evening, guys. It already has been. Patrick Moose, Seth Berger, they advance to the All-Star race. And coming up in a few minutes' time, we have a 75-lap feature. Well, is that right? 2020?
No, two 20-lap duels and a 35-lap main feature.
How many is that? 75?
Yes.
Yes. 75 total laps worth of racing coming up here pretty shortly. 2020 and then that 35 feature race. There's your results, but it's only the top 2 that matter. Patrick Moose, Seth Berger, and the 88 of Justin Sogak, they move on to the Area All-Star race. We're going to take a short break. We'll get reset. We'll be back in a few minutes. Area All-Star Race for Season 6 is upon us, and after qualifying 3 drivers in earlier tonight with the Area Open, it's now time to race for $100 and the prize of being the top driver across all 3 area series. Hi everybody, Kyle Heyer, joined by Hunter Sleppy and Finian DeCuna for tonight's Area All-Star Race, which is a unique format that should hopefully select the best of the best, and Finian certainly driving some of the most fun cars to watch in iRacing.
Yeah, we saw a fantastic showing in the Open there with Seth Berger, especially the highlight drive, driving from 12th to second place in just a span of 4 laps, absolutely muscling the machinery around. And now we get to watch 20 guys get out there with some big bucks on the line.
Yeah, this is a combination of the Cup guys, Pro Series guys, truck guys, and the lone survivor from the ARCA series, the champion James Shane Wolf. He'll always have that to his name as these guys look to grab the $100 cash prize at the end of the night.
Well, qualifying is underway, so we'll head down to the racetrack and cover that before we get into tonight's event. Now, this is a little bit of a different format than we've seen in previous years, Finian. 2 20-lap duel-style races that will set the grid for a 35-lap feature event. 35 laps is a short race, so qualifying is going to matter a lot, and that means these 2 20-lap duels are going to be mighty important.
They really are. And what you're seeing these guys qualifying for, well, it's determining which duel they're going to be in. It's going to be in one. The even number participants are going to be in the other. The drivers moving on from the Open are not qualifying. They're just going to be sorted out into either duel. They will have to anyway start from the back in the main event. So they're just kind of hanging out here till the main event starts. But we're looking at the number 7 of James Kioli working his way on through, puts the time up on the board. He'll be only 4th at the moment. Philip Groner ahead of him in 3rd. And as I say, that Connor Yurshak steals that spot in the 12. But here's Jake Nichols sliding out of turn 4. He comes flying to the line.
He's the winner of this All-Star race twice in Season 2 and then last season at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He actually won this at this track. Season 2 was in Atlanta at this same configuration, so a little bit of familiarity there with Gen 4 for Jake Nichols. And like I mentioned, we get some guys from different series like Logan Clampett, last week's winner in the Pro Series, getting the job done.
Yeah, Logan Clampett could really spoil this party for everybody, couldn't he? We saw how impressive he was last week, and I think he'll be one to watch. Seth Knoll, of course, has found so much success. The other thing to note, Finian, is that the qualifiers in the Area Open, typically they would start at the rear, but they don't have to start at the rear for the main event, just in the heats. So that means that they can start a little bit better than they otherwise would be able to, and that's good because the race is so short.
Yeah, correction to what I said before. So yeah, so they do have a chance in this, but they're going to have to work their way to the front in the heats. Let's look at Connor Horn, one of the last 2 qualifiers out there on the track. Logan Clampett in the 44 just set a blistering time down. He goes up to the top spot. Can Connor usurp him? Sorry, Connor is starting his lap. Never mind. Going to have to wait another 30 seconds, see if he can get it done.
You have to run a 31.3070 or better to dethrone Clampett for the pole. And looking up behind, looking up on the leaderboard behind him, we got Sebastian Marin, who's been lining up the Truck Series. Second quickest, and then Alan Elwood, who won last year in the Pro Series at Iowa. Good to see him back after taking some time off. But Connor Horn coming through.
Ooh, no, not going to do it. 31.453. You see him disappointed in that lap. He will start, in about the 6th row in his dual race. 4 drivers are not going to put into time. Brad Slaughter Jr. is one of them, and of course the other 3, Anna Sogak Moose and Seth Berger. So with qualifying out of the way, guys, tonight 2 20-lap heats. We saw how 20-lap segments went in the Open race, and it was pretty frantic. I don't know that it'll be quite so frantic in this one, Finian, because it's just for a starting spot, but there is still some money on the line, so that might change the tune a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say there is some money on the line, $20 to the winner of each duel. So there's a little bit of incentive to push a little bit harder. But yeah, like I said, like you were saying, I don't think it'll be as crazy as what we saw because they're not going to be fighting for a spot. You're still going to start the race. It's going to be whether you want to start near the front, near the back, or somewhere in the middle. So we'll see how hard these guys are going to push. The 23 car Marin out there just getting some laps down. Unfortunately, just missed out on the pole, at least for the first duel. He'll be in the pole for duel number 2. We missed it out by 4 thousandths of a second.
That's all we got, I guess. I have done a little bit of pit lane reporting in my day, and It was always with sports car drivers, and you know, on hot, sweaty days, it'd be hot and sweaty, but you know, generally there's so many layers. Everything's contained in the suit. You know, so I'm sure when they open that up, it's probably real fun. But
so I can say for firefighting gear when you open up, yeah,
it just seals all the goodness off. It's like sous vide.
Oh yeah.
Also, he got out of the car and was like, "No, that's fake news. I never actually did it. He probably said it, but he didn't mean it."
Interesting. Well, we'll have to get inside eyes on the Tyler Reddick laundry room to really know the full story on that. All right, guys. On the left-hand side of the screen here in a moment is going to be our starting lineup, and Logan Clampett is going to be your pole sitter for this one. Alan Elwood will start alongside him, and then it's Nichols, Skyly, Weishart, Horn, Cabot, Shane Wolf, Moose, Slaughter, and Anna Sogak. $20 on the line. How much are you racing for the $20, and how much are you racing for a starting spot and risk versus reward, Finian?
I mean, well, you might as well throw it all out there, right? These guys aren't going to have to worry about backup cars. They have a backup car for the main event, so nothing really is. You're not going to really be penalized for pushing too hard in this event. So you might as well go out there and push, try to see if you can get those $20. Otherwise, you know, maybe you want to settle for something a little bit less if you want to secure yourself a decent starting spot. But wouldn't be too surprised to see a couple guys up there throwing moves at one another.
So waiting on Clampett to load into the session, but yeah, this is a kind of a big factor here. Only 20 laps, and really, if you push hard enough for the win and you end up wrecking your car, you're gonna have to be starting at the rear for this main event anyway, because like you said, if you finish third in this one, it's I finished third, that's great. No, you're not going to be starting third, you're going to be starting fifth. So this is all for the inside lane in the main event.
Logan Clampett has joined us, and it is a warmer racetrack, about 20 degrees warmer than the Open was. That could have a difference in how the tires will handle tonight. That'd be a bigger problem, I imagine, in the 35-lap race versus the 20-lap duels. But before we get started here tonight, our replay partner that we've got a workout in the Open is Henry County Motorsports Park. Racing returns to the Henry County Motorsports Park on September 7th, including 360 Top Gun wing sprints, Cruiser late models, factory stocks, and more. Tickets are $15 for adults with discounted prices for seniors, teens, and kids ages 5 and under are free. Come see racing at the southernmost dirt track in America, located in Clewiston, Florida, off U.S. Highway 27. Visit henryracing.com for more info. And Michael Curhan clarified, Finian, that our picks don't count tonight. Unfortunately, no points for the drivers, no points for us. But who's winning this duel?
Who's winning this duel? That's a good question. There's a lot of talent in this pool of drivers in particular. I'm trying to look through and see who I'm liking the most. I'm going to go with the number 7 and James Scully.
Well, I'm going to stick to what's best, and that's starting first. Logan Clampett's going to run away with it.
Well, I'm going to roll with, Logan Clampett would have been my pick, but I'm going to go with the tried and true Jake Nichols. I think he's got work to do, but he came up just shy of Logan Clampett last week at Darlington, and I don't see why he can't have learned a thing or two from that experience and take it to that 44. He's going to start this race right behind him. This will only take us about 10 minutes if we go green from flag to flag. So it is a quick one and done to set one of the rows of tonight's event. Here we go out of turn 4. The area all-star race qualifying duel 1 is green. Big wiggle, and everybody fans out at the start-finish, Finian.
Yeah, big wiggle. I think that was James Shanewolf that had to back out of it on the top side, so he's going to get up to speed. He's able to recover. But meanwhile, there's Connor Horn immediately jumping to the top side as we get up to speed.
Gonna test that outside lane early, see if it's worthwhile, as Clampett drives away about 3 car lengths from Jake Nichols and Alan Elwood side by side for second, and then behind them, door to door, is Weishart on the outside, Cabot on the inside.
It's really tight behind them there for position as they went off into turn 3. Adam Cabot didn't have a lot of room to run. Connor Horn went up high. Maybe that's some ground, but he realized how important it was to qualify up front. You saw his disappointment in the qualifying effort, Finian, but now you got to put up or shut up here.
Yeah, this is a chance for him to make up for that mistake in qualifying to really get a decent qualifying effort done for the main event. But he's got the Skyley to work around the number 7. Moose is going to go around to the inside 3 wide out of turn 3. Connor Horn trying to see if he can make that outside lane work. Moose trying to see if he can make the inside lane work. It looks like Skyley is going to be out 2 spots and 2 corners.
Yeah, Skyley not the winner out of that exchange, but Connor Horn still using that outside lane, and then behind him, Brad Slaughter also using that outside lane. This is his home track in Atlanta, Georgia. So, well, this is Hampton, but nonetheless, still Georgia native. Brad wants to put on a performance for his family here and is looking to get past Skyly for 8th.
Working the bottom of the racetrack here, right against that white line. Everyone kind of trending to the bottom up at the front, but we're seeing drivers like Connor Horn experiment with those upper grooves. Alan Elwood kind of shortcutting the quad oval to try to eat into Logan Clampett's advantage. There's David Weishart now going to the top to try to find some speed for these front 3.
Yeah, I think you saw Connor Horn in the mirror trying to do it, trying to see if he can maybe make something work if it's viable up there, but looks like it's not. It looks like a lot of people are kind of bottom feeding at the moment. Looks like that top link is not quite kicking in. I guess maybe not enough rubber put down up there. Not quite sure. Maybe it's too slick with the temperature, but everyone's slowly gravitating with the middle to bottom lane.
Elwood's trying to gravitate a little bit more towards that bumper of Logan Clampett. He's 2 car lengths back. Starting to put down pretty good times to the 44 car, but waiting in the wings is Jake Nichols, Colin. We know how good he is the longer the run gets.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is you just don't have that long of a run, only 20 laps, so things happen very quickly. It's just enough that I think if you beat up your stuff too early, you're going to start slipping and sliding around, and that's what makes this racing so much fun to watch as the comers and goers. Brad Slaughter Jr. up on the outside now, trying to defend from the 7 and close in on the 38 of Patrick Moose.
Yeah, but it's hard to see Skyly drop so far back this early. He's already lost 5 spots back to 9. I'm not sure if he's maybe saving up, feeling like he can push later on, but start to run out of laps quickly here, already at 15 to go. It's a couple laps in here, and Weishart makes a move on Adam Cabot, so Weishart will stay up there in 4th and trying to see if he can chase down Jake Nichols, who's now starting to gravitate towards the top side of the track.
Yeah, we saw Cabot get a bit aggressive last Monday at Darlington. His ticket to the All-Star race. A bit different with these cars, Kyle, as we've seen in All-Star Open. You get closer on that bumper, the front kind of sticks out more with this Gen 4 car, and the rear bumper not that well balanced like the next gen is. So the next gen, it can take a bump, but this one, it absolutely cannot.
Yeah, they're not going to be pushing and shoving, bump drafting. We did see a lot of side-by-side contact. I think one of the things that surprised me was the aerodynamic dartiness of this car means that it kind of self-straightens and it helps drivers save the car at high angles of attack when they're sliding. So you're going to see a lot of yaw tonight, a lot of aggression, because drivers feel comfortable hanging this thing out on the edge. Or the next-gen car in particular doesn't really like that. It's a knife's edge beyond a certain slip angle. This car, you got a bit more to play with, which means you'll see that aggression level rise as the race goes on.
Yeah, but Kevin, we just saw trying to make a move on the bottom of David Weishart. No dice, not able to make it. He's still trying to have a look down there as Weishart takes the middle lane in the trails of Jake Nichols up ahead in the 73. But top 5 have been mostly spaced out for the moment. And they've kind of separated out from Connor Horn a couple seconds. Then it's Moose, Slaughter, Skyly, and Sogek and Chain Wolf as they run. Now, Nichols, Weishart, Cabot all up on the top side, nose to tail.
Yeah, all looking to get a run down the backstretch. We're closing in on halfway through, Kyle, and I'm looking at the lap times here. Not even halfway through, and 7, maybe 0.8 of a second difference in lap time from at least the beginning of the race, or even the best times on the board. And we're starting to fall back a little bit. The 73 reeling it back in.
Yeah, Nichols is making some ground up there. See Elwood go up to try to defend from this, but Nichols has already figured out that there is speed to have up there. I don't think Logan's out of this just yet. He could be firing off too quickly. This is just long enough of a race that I think you can wear things out and slow yourself down. If it was any shorter, you could just go all out all the time. If it was any longer, you'd really have to start conserving to make it to the end out front.
I mean, we saw in the Open, we saw easily with fresher tires in 4 laps, it can make a huge difference. So definitely, it's the little things that count. And like you said, just long enough with the tire management, you're going to have to manage those tires a little bit. You can't completely push 100%, otherwise towards the end, you're really going to start to struggle. But I think Clamp is just trying to expand that gap as much as he can to the point where no one can really push or try to catch him back up, especially when they're battling with one another like 49 and 73.
Yeah, that last time by, they were both quicker than Logan Clampett, but going to need to be a little bit more faster. He ran up 32.472, Clampett did, but we'll see what times they run. Going to be a little bit slower than the leader now as they're side by side for second.
And Nichols is going to just send it off in there, but not enough to clear the 49s. This will be a slower lap. This is what Logan needs, but you're right to point out that Clampett was slowing down. So they have to take advantage of this. Nichols doesn't have a lot of time to waste here. How much do you want that 20 bucks? How bad do you want the starting spots tonight? And are you willing to concede and start 6th or 7th instead of 2nd or 3rd?
Well, it seems like they're both willing to try to push at least, but they're pushing against one another. Nichols just trying to find a way around. 49 Elwood's keeping that car, making that car as wide as possible, constantly taking away any lane of attack from the 73 and Nichols, and he's been poking and prodding, but nowhere to really go, it seems at the moment. He's starting to run out of options and slowly running out of laps.
Yeah, taking an outside lane away. Nichols going to go back on the bottom and try Harvicking through 3 and 4. That's sticking the car as close to the white line as you can, trying to paint it, and almost completed the pass.
Yeah.
Going to be side by side on the front stretch, but still running out of time with 7 to go.
Yeah, if he lunges down here, he's going to clear the 49. Now he's got to slide up. And this is the move that we've been watching all night. Can the 49 respond? Will Nichols go to block out of turn 2? Maybe he will not.
He's going to respond just enough. Does the 49 have a big enough run to throw it into the corner? He will try. He will not have enough to clear him. And the 73 Nichols is going to try to rocket around the outside, and he should be able to clear, and he will off of turn 4. So now the 73 Nichols' sights are going to be set 8/10 up the road. Logan Clampett, does he have enough tire to chase him down? Does he have enough laps to chase him down?
6 car lengths from, 6 laps to go, nearly 6 car lengths between the 44 and the 73. Meanwhile, it's Adam Cabot again behind the 33 of Weissart, trying to get around him for 4th, and not too far behind. Here comes Connor Horn in the 42.
Nichols was faster than Clampett last time, even though he was passing Alan Elwood, so he just needs a 10th a lap, but he's there. Keep an eye on those two while we watch the 33 and 07. Lap times this time through Clampett at 33.15. Nichols a 33.01. That is quick enough to catch him if he keeps taking that chunk out every lap.
He might need to take slightly bigger chunks. If anything, he's just going to reach him by the time the checker flag falls, so he's going to have to kind of step it up a bit, or hope that Clampett falls off a little bit more in the closing laps. As we look at Weissart, Cabot, and Horn race it out for 4th place. Connor Horn looks like he's starting to turn up the afterburner a little bit here. And see if he can make some moves here, and some of these guys that maybe pushed a little bit too hard, especially his teammate, the 07 of Adam Cabot.
Yeah, Horn looking to get around Cabot for another position. Again, this is to set up the inside lane for the main event. And Connor Horn's going to send it deep, trying to get 2 for 1. Here comes Weissart with a crossover, and here comes Cabot as well.
3 wide out of turn 2, and Connor Horn went for the Hail Mary, completed the pass, but now he's under fire again from both the cars he just got by.
Yeah, but Connor's got the preferred line, especially with them 3 wide like this. Weissart's going to gas it up mid-corner. He's going to get clear. The 07 might be able to get clear. The 42 Connor Horn is sideways off of turn 4. Some wrenching at the wheel to the right, trying to keep that thing going the right direction, and he will get the spot ahead of Weissart.
3 laps to go, and this could be a big swing of things for Patrick Moose. He's right behind this mix, and he can go from 7th to, well, 4th in a matter of moments if these cars continue to battle the way they are.
Connor Horn has played this pretty well. He's up to 4th now, clears Weissart and Abbott, who will resume their fight for 5th now. Connor's got Alan Elwood right up the road here, so he could end up P3. This would be a great late race charge for Connor Horn as they come out of turn 4. 2 laps to go as the 42 catches the 49, and looks like maybe Weissart's bailed out.
And I think Alan Elwood, he's going to have to pull a page out of Ryan Newman's book and make that car even wider, because he's got a bunch of cars stacked up here. Horn, Cabot, Weissart, and Moose all salivating trying to get on by, and even further behind, they're all stacked up nose to tail.
And Weissart on the fall as Schuyler looking to enter the fray and make his name known inside the top 10, trying to pick up another position. Alan Elwood trying to hold the 42 at bay, but they're side by side off turn 4. The white flag's waving on this opening duel, Kyle, but these guys still fighting to the very end.
Yeah, trying to do everything they can, Finian, and big sends back here. Only half a lap left.
Yeah, I think a lot of them it's going to be about setting up the run in 3 and 4, getting a decent run off of turn 2 here. Cabot's going to get a decent run on the top side. Connor Horn was looking low now, trying to tuck back in behind, get any sort of slipstream. Does he go for the lunge? Here he goes into 3.
Last 2 corners, Connor Horn gets to the corner of Alan Elwood, gives him a big push, huge slide. Can he hang on to it? Clampett's going to win the first duel. Nichols is 2nd. 3rd place is going to put Elwood, and Horn loses 1. Does he lose 2 spots at the stripe? Yes.
Oh, and he goes into the 49.
Well, I'm not sure what that was about. That was just racing.
The we will go back and watch a
you just
replay
made
of that.
you just made an enemy for the All-Star race. I mean, I thought that was just racing to the very end.
Oh, boy. Let's go back and have a look at it before we get into the second of the duels. Yeah.
It's got to be through the block through 3 and 4, which, I mean, it's the last lap. You're going to do what you need to do, and I don't know. I
He
guess
really blocked him, though. Kind of pinched him low and held his line.
I don't think that 49 did much wrong there, but I think it was just frustration. And, yeah, he lost both spots. Did he lose the one to the 38? Not quite. Almost.
He just had a nose in front, but you're right, Finian. Elwood definitely made that car about as wide as Newman.
He
definitely had to, because I don't think he would have been able to last another lap or two.
We'll tell you, they have
Wait,
nerfed the damage model on this car. It used to be so good.
It used to be so good. You see bumpers flying off, flapping in the wind.
It's one of the worst ones now. Actually, the other stock cars look a lot better, so we've got to take another pass at that.
Yeah, hopefully when they get the actual Gen 4 cars, they do a little better job.
Well,
I want to see these things, like, destroyed. iRacing. Please make it happen.
Here's a look at your 10 starters for this second duel. Sebastian Marin on the front row, Connor Urashak on the outside, Groner, Howell, Kurhan, Seth Knoll, then Travis Beckner, Abby Evans, and Seth Berger, who was the last qualifier in from the Open earlier tonight. This will be another 20-lap, 10-minute heat race that will set us up for our 35-lap main feature. Hunter, who's winning this one?
Oh, you've come to me.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I'm going to go with, well, the pole sitter won the last time, so I'm going to go with the 23 of Marin.
I'm going to take the 11 of Philip Groner. I think the gold car gets it done. Finn, who you got?
Ooh, who do I have? You know, I've been liking the 52 Payne. He's been on a streak as of recently. He's really performed well, recent race winner to get him into this show, and I think he's got what it takes. He's been showing some really impressive speed in the Cup Series, and he's got what it takes to win it here, at least in duel number 2.
Oh, we'll see if he can get it done here as we get set to go racing tonight. Add some life to your party this summer or fall with Elite Entertainment. Located in Boiling Springs, South Carolina, Elite Entertainment provides high-quality band production to entertain at any location, including karaoke, singo, and more. Visit Linktree/Elite Entertainment LLC for all contact info. And check out the High Banks podcast. Just two blue-collar guys, Nick and Alex, talking about NASCAR and more. Got a couple episodes with Brad Slaughter and Jacob Bell available on Spotify. The High Banks podcast. Check them out. Cars rolling through turn 2, guys, and have a look at the track temperature. It's cooling a little bit, but we didn't see nearly as much fall off. And I wonder how much the desperation changed the Open versus this qualifier, Finn.
I think it will definitely dies down a lot less because you're not trying to race into the show, but there is still that money on the line. Of course, I have to mention that money was going to Logan Clampett, who didn't really look back since he took off from the start, just led the entire race and didn't seem to break a sweat. See something similar happens here. The 23 Martin, if he can get out ahead and doesn't have to look back. Or will it be a hard-fought battle among several drivers? We'll have to see when the green flag drops.
Well, another $20 on the line, Colin. That can get you a Chili's app sampler with the new Nashville hot mozzarella sticks.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Nashville hot Moz stick. I am in. Let's see. I don't win any $20. One of these drivers will. Green flag, and we're underway in Heat 2 of the area All-Star Race qualifiers, and the 11 did not go at all. Marin and Urashak lead to turn 1.
And neither did the 12 of Connor Urashak. He was struggling to get that car up to speed and easily gave the lead to the 23 entering turn 1. But we see Philip Groner, he's really struggling to get that car up to speed, back down to 8 after 2 turns.
And meanwhile, Marin in the 23 already on the move, trying to put away almost about a half second already between himself and Urashak. Meanwhile, third, Peyton Howell on the inside, Knoll on the outside, going to cross over on the front stretch. And
Travis Beckner, is he a dark horse in here? You give him a time and place to be aggressive and it'll pay off. Absolutely consider this 28 a race winner. Throttles up mid-corner here, P6 after starting in 7th. Walking the thing up the hill, Finian, but he's making speed.
Definitely making some speed, but as Michael Curran to deal with right up ahead of him, just inside the top 5. Beckner just outside. Trying to look on in, see if he can get on through. But the first few drivers single filing out on the bottom line. But Beckner, decent run off of turn 4, looking to the outside. Michael Curran does 24 fight it hard, and we let the 28 on go.
Yeah, that last time through into 3, Shane Abbey had to let off big time. Otherwise, he was going to get into the bumper of Beckner, and that's a recipe for disaster here at a track like this with the Gen 4 car. But lives to fight another day as Beckner does get clear of Michael Curran, which you mentioned earlier. Racing returns to Andrew County Motorsports Park September 7th. That's this Friday, and that's your flagman running in 5th.
And he's moving forward, but so is Connor Urashak. He's run down Marin a little bit. And Seth Knoll. Did anybody pick him to win this race? He absolutely could.
Yeah, I don't think we did. Well, not enough picks for us because there's a lot of talent in this field. With Seth Knoll started in 6th, already up 3 spots, and Connor Urashak knocking on the door. Very different than what we saw in race 1. See Urashak throw it to the inside, thought about it, but actually backed out. I think he's maybe trying to save his stuff a little bit later for a better opportunity.
Similar to what we saw in the Open, where Anna Sogak just ran that upper groove for the majority of the race and was able to keep everyone at bay. But Marin gives the outside lane to Urashak, and he's running all the way up near the wall.
And he put a fresh coat of salmon-colored paint on that outside wall, didn't he? He's going to carry that momentum down the backstretch to the inside here of the race, leading 23, and pulls even in the center of 3 and 4.
I got really tight there, was trying to ride on the bottom white line, but car was just too tight, walked up the hill and killed his run, but that was the right move he had in mind. Set it up for the run corner prior and then make a charge, but unfortunately wasn't enough. Makes a big dive in turn 1. Opposite now, we saw Marin go up top, Urashak way down bottom.
Yeah, I don't think Marin's going to give up that outside lane for the rest of the race. I'd be shocked if he did. If Urashak executed that perfectly last time through, he would have had the lead, and that was almost an opportunity out the window for Marin, so he's going to try and keep that at bay. Meanwhile, Peyton Howell was looking for 3rd from Seth Knoll. Didn't get that through, but here comes Travis Beckner slowly creeping into the mix.
I think it's so fun how a couple laps ago it was the 12 rim riding and the 23 on the bottom, but the next lap around they both do the opposite. You find speed everywhere here depending on your inputs. And the 23 almost lost that spot in the center of the corner, but Urashak couldn't stick back in the throttle quick enough. And they're going to remain nose to tail here. But this is markedly a little bit more aggressive here than the previous race was.
Yeah, it really was. We saw Clampitt just check out from everyone else and behind that strung out the field. But now we're seeing the top 2 fight it out. Peyton Howell and Seth Knoll also waiting in the wing, seeing what happens here. And they're in hot pursuit of the leader. So they're not giving up the charge. They're just waiting for their opportunity to strike.
Here comes Urashak with a strong run off turn 2. Left that outside lane open, did Marin in the 23, and closed right back on the bumper.
Are these drivers driving too hard? Will they burn up their stuff? We didn't see Clampitt or Nichols or Scioli have to drive like this. They're just so tight right now. And with a hot racetrack and a lot of horsepower to wrangle, beat up stuff quick. Urashak back to the bottom, but Finian, this seems like it's not gaining them a whole lot other than momentary overlap leaving turn 2.
Yeah, every time he does this, he's burning up that right front, charging on the inside. When it actually catches the wall on the back straightaway, here comes Peyton Howell trying to take advantage because he's got to slow down immediately getting into that wall.
The more salmon color entering turn 3 this time through, as Peyton Howell already steered clear of Knoll for 3rd. Closing in on Urashak, well, he was up until that part of the racetrack, but still 2 car lengths back from him.
Now Howell goes to the outside as Urashak and Marin go back to the bottom. Interesting how the 23, as soon as he didn't feel the pressure from Urashak, immediately dropped back down to the bottom. Maybe feels like you can defend in the outside, but you have to run the bottom to find max speed.
And Howell got in the wall. He's trying to look to the outside of the 12, so he hits to just a little bit on the entry. But now Connor Urashak having to go from offense to defense now in the middle of this race. We're just past halfway. Peyton Howell putting the pressure from 3rd place.
Yeah, and a full second difference in lap times. That's just how much tire wear matters here, or it doesn't matter. Well, actually, I should say it does matter, but the laps already halfway through as Marin continues to pull away from Urashak. Howell charging on his rear.
Broner and Shane Abbey fighting for 7th place here. No dollars on the line, but starting positions being traded, and Abbey will drop to 9th place behind Herhan and Broner. Second place, still the hottest battle on the racetrack. Urashak has it, Peyton Howell wants it, and Marin maintains a 3/10 of a second advantage, Finian.
Yeah, he's been enjoying that lead. I think he's feeling somewhat a little clamped right now, what he felt in the first one. But he's still not out of the woods just yet. They're keeping pace with him from in behind, especially Peyton Howell. We haven't seen him push really that hard. Same thing with Seth Knoll. He's not too far behind as Travis Beckner is wheeling that thing, trying to hold off Jonathan Evans making a charge in the 26.
Jonathan Evans locked his way into the All-Star race from his win at Daytona to kick off the season. And he's looking to get around Beckner for 5th as Beckner runs all the way up near the outside wall, and the 26 will be to his inside.
Yeah, I really like when you run the outside and then turn down a little on exit because you don't lose the exit run as much as you would. Evans kind of took a swing at the ankles there of Travis Beckner. Turns down in. Beckner wants back to the bottom, and he'll open the door again on corner exit. What a great battle this is.
A really great run there for Beckner on the fight back now for 5th place. Beckner, I'm not sure he's going to be able to make enough of a dive in turn 1. Evans still got that outside. He's way up there on the corner and should be able to get a big run here on the back straightaway, better than Beckner. Whoa, Beckner, I'm not sure he's trying to side draft to get close to him, but that actually caused the fake out for the 26. He's in the wall, and Beckner's on by. Not sure that was planned or not.
Yeah, that was a eyebrow-raising moment for those two, and go back and take a look at it.
Yeah, was there a little contact on the straightaway after this?
Didn't look like it, but they got awfully close.
Oh, yep, you're right, a little fake out. They're still going at it right now as Seth Knoll and Peyton Howell are trading spots for 3rd, and then Beckner and Evans back at it again, and Groner finding some speed, but too little too late for the front.
Yeah, actually, Seth Knoll secured the spot ahead of 52, and Howell trying to dive it in hard. That's definitely not going to work for him. Going to get really tight in the middle of the corner. Seth Knoll going to be able to gas it up and clear for 3rd place.
Holy, those cars are getting, oh my gosh, and even Payne Howell in the middle of the front stretch, sideways through.
It's like a wolf seeing a wounded deer. You can smell it. And Travis Beckner and Evans, well, they are fighting amongst themselves. They know that the 52 is hurting. Move up a row if you can get this pass done in the next 5 or 4 laps.
Yeah, right now Payne Howell sitting a start in 8th place. Beckner in 10th. 2 more spots if you can get on through. So, and there, see, like you said, wounded deer. The Howell's starting to struggle here in the later going. That car is almost wrecking loose. So he's definitely burned off his stuff. So now Beckner, Evans, and Groner are all trying to charge in.
Well, there's still life in the tires of the wounded deer and Payne Howell. And here comes the 77, actually 11, looked like a 7. Philip Groner. He really hasn't gotten going since the initial start, but trying to make up some spots late in the going.
Down into turn 3, Beckner on the bottom. Evans up the road a little bit. There's the 24, Michael Curhan, trying to, whoa, big wiggle for Travis Beckner. He chases that car all the way across the road, and it'll open the door for the 26 again.
Yeah, Evans going to say, thank you very much. I will be taking that spot back. He's up into 5th place, but now the question is, can he hold it? I bet that Beckner's going to fight back. See him hacking at the wheel out of turn 2, the micro adjustments he has to make to keep that car going in the right direction. Gets a big run off of turn 2. It's going to make a dive in turn 3. At least he's going to try to make a dive. But that 26 Evans, he's not going to let him have it easy, especially when they're coming to 2 laps to go this time by.
And Payne Howell looking at his mirror, watching this battle unfold behind him as Philip Groner again closing in on this battle. Evans going to get the run on the outside. Beckner going to stay to the inside, send it into turn 1. Philip Groner going to run the tire track to the 26.
That was a committal line, but he didn't get clear of the 26, so I think he's going to be in trouble now. He's going to lose the overlap on him, and then Groner's going to have a huge amount of momentum. Beckner slams the door shut into the wall, and Groner does the crossover.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you want to slam the door shut and not slam it into the wall. Unfortunately for Beckner, it's going to cost him a spot as Groner goes back to 6th place, but for the leader, white flag this time by.
And Sebastian Marin going to take the white flag, almost a 9 car length advantage over Connor Yaroshak. Seth Knoll still trying to close in on the 12th, but to no avail as Marin's going to cruise into the backstretch for the final time.
Sebastian Marin in the number 23. He's going to do just like Logan Clampett did in the first of the 2 heats tonight. There's still 35 laps to go tonight to determine the winner of the All-Star race. But from pole in both races, first it was Clampett, then it's Marin. The number 23 is going to win the duel, and he's $20 richer. Urashak, Knoll across the line there, and everybody else sliding, spinning, making it to the finish. And Peyton Howell, big-time impact into the wall.
The thing is, a backup car for the main event, and Beckner also, I think, was trying to gas it up, just lit it up down the front straightaway. Doesn't need the tires anymore, but oh boy.
Oh boy is right.
Well, race is complete. Now we're going to set everybody up and get the whole field going for 35 laps. Now, guys, this is for the big money, $100 on the line. We just saw two drivers, the 23 Sebastian Marin and the Logan Clampett machine. They were absolutely dialed. But now when you put those two side by side, who has the advantage between those two?
It's really tough. It's really tough to say at this point because, you know, you got a also factor. We got 21 cars out there in the track, a bunch of guys in behind them from both races. So much more competition. And of course, this is the one where everything's on the line. $100 on the line in only a 35 lap race. So there is something to lose, a lot to lose at this point because there's no more reset. You got your reset in the duels, arguably. So you want to push, but obviously not too hard. And then there is, you know, with the extra length that we have, I think a much higher chance of a caution coming out. That can change a lot of things, especially because guys only have one set of tires, similar to what we saw in the previous races. One set of tires change, and when you take that tire change, could easily be where you facing defeat or victory.
Well, this is the guy that the rest of the competitors are going to be chasing after, as Clampett's going to be starting on the front row in that pole position. I would definitely keep an eye on Jake Nichols for this main event. He's won here before. He's won this event twice. He won it on different tracks, actually. Atlanta, we mentioned, from season 2, and then last season at Charlotte. So Jake Nichols has a feeling for this Gen 4 car and mile and a halves.
Well, Michael, I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know that we've got one more question left to answer tonight. That is who wins the Season 6 Area All-Star Race, and we're going to know here pretty shortly because warm-up has been advanced, and that means we're going racing for 35 laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This car tonight, Finian, has been so fun to watch. It was a little bit, I'd hesitate to say the word sterile in the first of the two heats, but it seems like the drivers that know how to kind of bide their time and run their stuff tidy, everything looks very neat and clean. The second you get someone throwing Hail Marys and start heating those tires up, it gets pretty wild.
I think what also we saw is quite a few drivers out there just probably using that first race as a testing session, right? 20 laps of you running in traffic with other drivers. What can you do? You know, when the tire gets to a certain point in its life, what moves can you still make? So I think a couple guys just running just a little bit easy because they know now is the main event. Now is when they really got to put on the line, and you know that information. When can you push? How hard can you push? How can you pace yourself? That's going to work. This is where it's going to pay off.
Engines are fired.
I was just about to say, no practice, no nothing. We're getting straight into it.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a warm-up here, but as far as the 35-lap race, this race will take about 18 minutes to complete flag to flag. Now, we didn't have any yellows in the heats, but we could have, and we can have yellows in this one. What does our tire sets look like in this, Finian?
One extra set.
Okay, so if you get a caution lap 10, do you take those tires?
I mean, I don't know. that's why I kind of like it, right? They have to be very picky and choosy with it. Is that going to be the last caution? Do we still have a chance of another one? I feel like it might be a little bit too early. And you know, obviously with the race, you're not worried about points. You're worried about just getting that money and winning this race, all right? So you could afford to be a little bit riskier with the strategy. And I think in this scenario, you're going to have to play it risky. Maybe save that for later and hope there's a late race caution, because we saw with Seth Berger how much he was able to capitalize with that.
Well, Hunter, I would like you to pick me your winner tonight. Who gets the $100 and who goes on to victory lane?
Oh, man, this is tough because the pole sitters won everything so far tonight, but I think it would just be too cliche if I just took that route. So I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to go with the guy behind the pole sitter, Jake Nichols. I think he gets his third All-Star win in area.
Finian?
Well, if he's not going to take it, I'm going to take it. Logan Clampett.
Dang it.
He's going to win it. He looks so dominant in that first duel. I think he's really got, if nothing, the raw pace to win this.
That's a really good pick.
Huh. I mean, there's another one. There's another pole sitter.
No, but... yeah.
The 1 second pick.
I think I'll take that 23. I was hesitating between him or the 73 of Jake Nichols, but Yeah, I think Marin showed pretty good, strong pace. We'll see how he stacks up against Logan Clampett. Before we get this race started, we'd like to take a moment and remind you about Rick's Hot Sauce. Head over to rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. And if that's not spicy enough for you, well, stay tuned because we've got all the hot sauce coming your way tonight in the next 35 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where it's all going to be the line. $100 on the line for the driver that crosses the line first. Will we see it green to the end? Will we see a bunch of cautions? We'll have to see. 21 drivers have a shot.
Rolling out of turn number 4. This could be over in under 20 minutes. Will it be? Who wins? Season 6 Area All-Star Race from Atlanta. Green flag racing. The Gen 4 Cup cars, Clampett and Marin even across the line. The 23 got a great start at that outside lane, and he's got the nose ahead into turn 1.
Yeah, not nearly as good of a launch for Logan Clampett on the bottom, and actually might lose the lead out here immediately in turns 1 and 2. Marin trying to see if he can clear off the corner. I think he will just get clear. He's got maybe a fender of overlap with Clampett, who's still trying to fight back hard on the bottom.
Fighting on that inside lane already, lap 1, trying to lead the first lap of the race. Marin going to clear him off turn 4, and he will lead the first lap. So Clampett already down a position. Euroshak up to 3rd, and Nichols down to 4th.
That was a great pass there. Great start by Marin to get that initial launch, but Clampett goes right back to the bottom. Man, maybe Finian forced me to pick that 23 wasn't so bad after all as he takes the lead away again. But Clampett is not done.
Should keep my mouth shut in that scenario. But yeah, Clampett's still fighting hard. I think he knows that if he can get this spot now, it's much better to get it now than to get it later when the tires have some wear in them, and it becomes much harder to make a move. But they're starting to both separate themselves from the rest of the field, a little bit of a gap between themselves. And Connor Yershak sitting in 3rd, and Jake Nichols, L with your top 5.
Clampett really sent it down into turn 1 there. It's going to be alongside him in turn 2. Down the backstretch will tell a different tale as he's actually almost dead even with him. So even with the run on the outside lane, Marin fighting for that lead, trying to keep Clampett at bay.
Oh, this is such a great battle between these two. Who's using more tires? At the 23 up the racetrack, or the 44 being so aggressive, trying to keep the overlap on the bottom?
Yeah, I think I'd see the 44 a little bit more at the moment, just trying to keep that car floor on the bottom and keep it up ahead in that pace with the 23, who's arguably got the better lane. Just slightly offset on the outside, but Clampett looks like he's slowly winning out of this battle because the 23 is running low, so low in the corner, not quite capitalizing that run off the corner if he were running up near the wall. And Clampett slowly chipping away at this, slightly getting that lead back. And what's more amazing, again, as they fight side by side, they're still expanding their lead.
I think the winner out of all this is us, the viewers at home. I mean, these guys are putting everything on the line, $100. That could get you a lot of chilies. And Connor Euroshak also sitting in 3rd, just watching this unfold in front of him, waiting for a mistake to happen.
The 44 got a nice run through the middle of 1 and 2, and I think you're right. If Euroshak or Noel are watching this, they're saving stuff right now. They know these two are going to try to drive their wheels off, trying to get this lead advantage. But is it too much tire to waste this early in the race? Slide for Clampett as he tries to hang on to the overlap, but he is edging ahead, and he is going to lead that lap.
Yeah, we'll lead the lap. One thing certain is that these drivers are definitely not saving anything. I can tell you that. They're pushing it all at the moment. Marin looks like he's going to back off, but still going to try to gas it around the outside to get that run off the corner. And will slightly edge ahead of Clampett entering turn 3.
What a battle.
These are just 180-mile-an-hour pace laps here as Marin looking to get some overlap, going to try and clear off turn 4. He's going to have enough to do it.
Finally clears Logan Clampett, although he cleared him earlier in the race as well and wasn't able to stay that way. We'll see if Logan cools things off and goes again, or they've established a 1.1 second advantage over everybody else, but was it too much too soon?
I mean, only time will tell as the laps continue to chip off more and more as we go on. And everyone else in behind, we've seen quite a few comers and goers in the first couple races. And that was only after 20 laps, because we don't have a scheduled caution for this one. We're running all 35 laps out, potentially green, pending a wreck. So you're going to have to potentially save a little bit more, but obviously with what we saw these two just do, they were flooring it through these corners. they weren't saving anything at all. That can lead Connor Yurashek, Seth Knoll, Jake Nichols especially, who we know is good at saving tires. They can potentially come back at the end of this, should this remain green. Meanwhile, behind them, Adam Cabot, Patrick Moose are in a bit of a tussle, fighting for 6th and 7th place.
Yeah, really impressive from Patrick Moose. Had to advance through the open to get into this point, and he's making the most of it, running in the 7th spot, trying to work his way up to 6th. And just in front of them, you got the Solar Flare guys and Jake Nichols, Seth Knoll, and then behind him, you got, well, Travis Beckner and Connor Horn, 9th and 10th on the racetrack.
This is an explosive combination. These two, as aggressive as they are, hold that thought, lead battle again. I thought Logan had some overlap in 1 and 2. He is right there, not letting us pull the cameras off the 2 leaders. Clamp it back to the bottom in 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think part of this could be a strategy. Maybe he's trying to force the 23 to pick up the pace and push harder than he would like to maybe make him wear out his stuff more than having to have to make a move on him a little easier. So that's what I think Clamp is trying to do at the moment. Going to look to the inside. Let the battle resume once more.
And Euroshak ran a lap slower that last time by than Marin and Clampett. So 32-2 for both Marin and Clampett, 32-3 for Euroshak as this battle continues in the 3 with Clampett sliding up. Going to take the lead. Crossover from Marin.
Yeah, that was a little too much, but now he's got the advantageous position, so maybe there was some plan to that. Just throttled up, caught Marin off guard, and was able to get up to the advantageous spot on the outside. 10 laps complete, 25 to go, and Clampett now has the upper hand.
Yeah, I think that was a great fake that he did on Marin. I think he figured he can make Marin feel like he wasn't going to throw it that hard into the corner and kind of back up like he did the prior couple of times they were side by side. But he gassed it up right at the right moment and caught him sleeping and secured the spot.
Replay of that move. Excellent from Logan Clampett with the send to the inside.
This was well calculated. Just goosed it up right in the center of the corner and knew that he would lose the overlap advantage he had, but trade positions to the outside. And that ended up getting him the lead, and now he's trying to run away from Sebastian Marin. That did reel Connor Yurashak in slightly. Yurashak was only about 100th off of Clampett's speed last time around.
Yeah, we're going to have to kind of slowly watch the lap time charts and see who's going to go faster, who's going to go slower, because you bet at some point the 44 and the 23, they're going to start to fall off, and drivers further on back are going to be able to capitalize. But one driver who's been dropping a little bit further back at the moment was Alan Elwood in the number 49 machine, but now he looks like he's starting to go back forward once more. Going to try to make a move to the inside of Patrick Moose. Will get the job done.
Oh, Beckner, way up high. He was dragging the quarter panel on the wall.
I was going to say, I almost took the camera off the ball. He was running so high up there, and he's trying to make an attack at Patrick Moose right now for 8th.
Yeah, Beckner trying to get all that he can on that outside lane. Dare I say, Larson lining it through 3 and 4. I mean, look at how close he is compared to the rest of the guys near that outside wall.
Wanted some camera time because Marin and Clampett had stolen it all so far. Here comes Elwood to the inside of Cabot.
Oh my. Sorry, I'm looking at these lap times. 32.8 from both Clampett and Marin. 32.5 from Euroshak. 32.6 from Nichols and Knoll. Tire wear starting to become a factor here as we're nearing halfway.
Yeah, I wonder also if the 2 leaders are backing it down on purpose to try to cool their stuff off, but I don't know that they would let Euroshak get that close. So who knows, that little battle that they were having, and I think they still could have again, because I think the 44 used up more tire than the 23 did.
Oh, definitely. I would 100% agree with that he used up more, especially pushing that inside lane so hard. But I think both of them are going to be kind of hoping that someone's arm starts to get itchy and the caution comes out, because at the moment it looks like Yurashak, Nichols, and Noah will be a threat as they're slowly closing in on the leaders and picking up the pace.
Yeah, it's bringing kind of everyone back together, Kyle.
Yeah, the whole field's sort of coming back into the picture. And when you've got pressure from behind, it changes how you race. So I think that's going to be something to keep our eyes on here. Brad Slaughter Jr. is in the wall out of 4 and slowing. But the battle is up front, and Yurashak riding that rim is closing in, guys.
Cue the Jaws music if you haven't already, because it's about to get interesting here with Yurashak getting very close to the back of the 23 effectively there. It's a matter of where is he going to go. Well, the 23, he's trying to go to the outside of the 44. Almost gassed it up a little bit too much. Got sideways mid-corner. But now he's also going to start to think defensive as well as offensive, as the 12 Yurashak is also attempting to make a move. There he goes to the inside.
Well, he's going to have to make this move quick, because if he doesn't, then the 73 and Nichols has a chance to capitalize on this. So out the rear, we're looking from the leader, Logan Clampett, and trying to keep Sebastian Marin at bay and even the 12 of Euroshack as he really closes in on this mix.
I'd be worried about how much Euroshack is going to battle the 23, though. I think you want to take that spot as convincingly and quickly as you can. You don't really have an opportunity to muck around, and it'll give Logan another lead again. So plan and plot this carefully because you might only get one shot at this. Oh, he's in the wall. Scraped it a little bit. He kept his foot in it, though.
Yeah, just a little kiss, didn't really slow him down a whole lot. Gets a huge run off of turn 2. Going to use the momentum to the inside of the 23 Marin, and he knows that 23 can't really fight it that hard.
Well, Euroshack wanted to give himself a little Darlington stripe after missing out on the events last week, but yeah, still trying to get around him for second, but to no avail, just ride the coattails for another lap or two.
I think he learned something there, though, that when you go up high, if a little bit's good, more is better, right? So if you can get it all the way up against that outside wall, there is speed to be had there. And fights a little deeper in the field here between Noel, Cabot, and then you've got Elwood and Beckner that were side by side for a moment there.
Yeah, they're all still tussling all the way down the orders. The battle for the lead's been so entertaining and so close that it's been hard to look away from. Taking a look there, there's James Scioli just ahead of Pete Howell and Jonathan Evans. All done fighting for 11th place. Just over the road, I think Connor Horn just took a place from Travis Beckman.
Yeah, 9th and 10th on the racetrack. All these, the top 10 within 2 seconds of each other. The top 4 within a second as Nichols now closing in on Euroshack for 3rd.
Yeah, Euroshack had an advantage, and I think in the 2 attempts that he had on the 23 kind of used up what advantage he had, and now it is Nichols that's the fastest of the top 5 at the moment, but it's only by the slimmest of margins. We're talking hundredths of a second. 15 laps to go, Finn, and you're going to have to start getting creative to figure out how to get around these guys.
Yeah, we're halfway through this race, and now the tires, if you were pushing them hard early, they're going to start to feel even worse now. So you could potentially see Clampett and Marin starting to struggle even more, but now Euroshack and Nichols are kind of caught up in their own battle for 3rd place. As Beckner, I hear him on the radio, he's not happy. He's in the wall and slow on the back straightaway.
Yeah, I'll have to look back and see how that happened, but now he's outside the top 10.
Following the 42, and the 42 and 49 got together. Well, dodging the weave there.
Yeah, Beckner and happy the way Connor Horn came off. I will say in Connor Horn's defense, it's hard to get off the wall once you're stuck to it. It's like a magnet. You have to wrench that thing off.
Curran with a wiggle.
Yeah, it's going to drop to 28.
Gosh, Evans got in the wall.
Yeah, people are getting braver with an outside lane now. And how about this battle for 3rd heating up further? If Nichols wants to win this race, he's going to have to at least get by one of these 2 cars. I think you can be 3rd in the closing stages, but not 4th.
Yeah, I was going to say, he really needs to find a way to dispatch the 12 of Connor Euroshack, who's been starting to be more and more of a thorn on his side, because he keeps taking his lanes of attack away. And Euroshack, he's been trying to see if he can get back to the 23, but he can't quite get there either. He's kind of just stuck here, and no one's really going anywhere at the moment. Although I say that Nichols gassed it up a little bit to the outside 3 4, but couldn't go anywhere.
The 3 of the top 5 were within 3 1/1000ths of a second of each other the last time around. That is incredibly close. They're within hundredths this time, all 5 of the front 5.
Really close on the timesheets. Seth Knoll, he's trying to close into this battle. He's a little bit further behind, but give him a couple laps, he might start to enter the fray here.
These top 4 are just putting everything they got into it. $100 on the line for the winner. Currently held by Logan Clampett, just by 2 car lengths over Sebastian Marin. Euroshack trying to close back in, but he's got Nichols still lurking on his bumper for 3rd.
And Marin's found something, and he was a 10th quicker than Clampett last time by. He needs to find a little more and a little more consistently, and then you have to figure out what to do when you get to the 44. But he is finding some speed. Just is it enough?
Way behind, Adam Cabot making a move on Seth Knoll. Battle for 5th between both of them. Knoll's been trying to chip away at the top 4 to close it in. Kind of missing out on this battle. But now it has to do with Adam Cabot trying to make a move.
Yeah, trying to keep him at bay, and then not too far behind Patrick Moose. Overall, a solid night for him in that 38, transferring from the open to the main. And behind him, Alan Elwood trying to hold back Connor Horn for the 8th spot.
Somebody scraped the wall in the middle of 2. I heard it. And maybe it was the 12 because here comes Jake Nichols to the inside. This is one of those passes that if you don't clear him, both these cars are going to lose this race.
Yeah, I don't know if he scraped the wall in 1 and 2, but he was wrecking loose, and now the 73's tight in the middle of 3 and 4 as he was trying to get to the inside of the 12, but no dice once more, and that allowed the top 2 to separate, and it looks like the 23 is closing back in on the 44. He's not done yet, under 10 laps to go.
Going to use that outside lane to try and get an advantage. Don't want to scrape the wall, otherwise you lose all that time, but look at how much time he's going to make up down the backstretch. And still the fight for third continues as Marin closes in.
Yeah, Marin's making good progress on the outside lane, but there's no room for error up there. Nichols again trying on Euroshak here on the bottom. This is just not going to work. I think you have to make a pass on the outside. Marin is close to clamp it.
Ooh, this actually was a good move for the 73. The 12 Euroshak is wrecking loose on the front straightaway. This might be Nichols' chance here. If he throws into the corner, dives, he will throw it in, slide up on top. Euroshak going to do the over-under to the bottom. He will go. The 73 sliding out at turn 2. Well, now they swap spots. Can Nichols do anything with it?
He's going to have to use the outside lane to his advantage. He's in the spot to get the run. Euroshak going to slide up. He's not going to have enough. Nichols going to try and clear him for third and then have his eyes set on the front 2, but they're dead even for third off 4.
Yeah, same thing we saw Clampett do to Marin earlier in the race. Just drove underneath him, cleared himself, knew he was going to get side by side again, but then have the advantageous lineup on the outside. Euroshak's in the wall again with all the yaw these cars have, just dragging the quarter panel against the fence as Noel and Cabot continue their scrap for P5.
Yeah, they're continuing this battle as they've caught up to Euroshak now, so they're going to add one more to the mix, essentially. Seth going to look a little bit low, one lane below the 12. Trying to get some offset going. Now, Jake Nichols up ahead. We'll see if he can get anything back on the 44 and the 23 as they start to set off into the sunset.
6 laps to go, battle for fourth, still heating up. Euroshak in the wall, just about scraping with that quarter panel. Noel all over his bumper, and then to his inside. Cabot looking to take 5th away. Meanwhile, Marin now 3 car lengths behind Logan Clampett. Oh, and Noel in the wall!
Yeah, something's up with that car. Big wiggle. Got it gathered up. The drops behind Cabot as Cabot looks to advance on the 12 of Euroshak. As we get to 4 laps to go, and Logan Clampett is leading. It's not by a lot. The 5 to go this time through, but Marin is close enough that he can Hail Mary something, but you got to be within maybe a 10th and a half.
Hey, $100 is $100. So we'll see what he's going to be willing to do for it. Seth Noel going to throw a move to the inside to get the spot back from Adam Cabot. He will throw it into 3 and slide in front of the 07, and will get that spot back. And Cabot comes back to him on the inside, side by side for both of them again once more for 5th place.
Yeah, momentarily, and then outside the top 10, it's Michael Curran trying to keep Philip Groner at bay, and then in front of him, Jonathan Evans, 13th, 14th, and 15th on the track.
This is still the fight that's the most entertaining at the moment. P5, Seth Noel and Cabot, they have fought like this since the beginning of the race. Noel throws it down there to the inside at 3 and 4.
Gonna just slide in front of the 07 of Cabot. That was cutting it close.
Cabot coming back on the bottom, going to try. Well, if there's going to be a yellow, it's going to be between these two. Without they're racing each other, just under 3 to go.
I hear Travis Beckner calling out that he sees some debris off in one of the corners.
I bet you Marin would love that, a chance to reset, because everything he's tried hasn't really stuck. Clampett's running middle of the road here in 3 and 4, taking away Marin's line, and it's going to be 2 laps, 3 miles left here at Atlanta.
I think the rest of this time, the rest of his lap, he's just got to set up, get as close as possible. Don't worry about making a move. Just try to get as close to that rear bumper as possible, because you don't really get anything for finishing second. It's all about getting the win here. You see him running up high, just trying to see if he can utilize that run off the corner to get closer.
Well, he doesn't. He gains about a 10th down the straightaway, but kind of loses it all in the middle of the corner as well. So Clampett, 2 car length advantage as we're coming up on the final lap.
Logan Clampett leads the way. Just dominated in the duel race earlier tonight. He's got 1.5 miles left to pick up $100 and an area all-star victory.
One more lap to go. Marin going to go up high in 1 and 2. See if he can goose the throttle, get any sort of run off the corner. He is sideways off of 2, giving it all he's got.
To no avail as Clampett going to cruise into 3 and 4 with a 4-car length lead.
Logan Clampett is an all-star talent from across the iRacing service tonight. He's just going to dunk on it. Comes out of turn number 4 in a big slide. Logan Clampett wins $100 and the area season 6 all-star race and made the last few laps of that look easy. Oh.
They're crashing across the line, spinning all over the place.
Couple of close battles further down the field. Everyone just having some fun because they know they're going to be walking home empty-handed. Might as well get something out of it.
Wow, that was entertaining to watch. From lap 1, it was those two. They ran away with it, and the tires ended up proving that they can stay to the very end for both Clampett and Marin, but Clampett getting the upper hand.
Yeah, he just did everything right. See Noel and Marin having some fun slides, but you know, when you got a talent like this coming into a series like this, you know, it's cool because it shows he is the benchmark, right? It shows how good everybody is, but when you need to go out there and you need to perform, every little bit of the black stripes showing through tonight, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic job there. $120 going to Logan Clampett as he burns it down on the start-finish line. Hard to say he didn't earn it because, like you mentioned before, he made it look easy tonight.
Yeah, he won the first dual race as well. So $120, that can get you quite a lot of Chili's, actually.
It all came down.
You really want some Chili's.
It all came down to the move that he put on the number 23 to put himself ahead. He was on the bottom, struggling to make ground on Sebastian Marin, and they go down into turn 3 and just throttles up before it is mathematically or physically possible to leave the corner like that. Just full commits, swings to the outside, and grabs the top spot. I mean, that is pro-level stuff right there.
Yeah, really fantastic move there. Caught Marin off guard, and it was enough for him to get ahead. And he knew that you can see why he was fighting so hard. He knew if he can just get out in front, he would be able to hold it for the rest of the race.
Here's a look at your finishers here of the All-Star race, and it's Logan Clampett out ahead of Sebastian Marin, who did a fantastic job. And you have to give both those guys credit for being such an entertaining watch there. Jake Nichols, P3 finish.
Yeah, at least Marin will get the $20 for winning his open race, so we won't be walking away completely empty-handed from tonight. As for everyone else in behind, can't say the same as Jake Nichols finishes up in 3rd, Yershak in 4th, Noel, Cabot, Moose, Horn, Scully, and Elwood rounding out your top 10.
And then good battles outside of top 10 even, just didn't get a good chance to see it, but Howell, Groner, Beckner, Evans, Curhan, Weishart, Berger, Abbey, Shane Wolf, and Sogak and Brad Slaughter ran out the rest of the field.
And that is your race finishers, but Sebastian Marin comes home just a little bit short in the number 23. The battle for the first 7 or 8 laps was absolutely legendary. Sebastian tonight just came up a couple tenths short. You were trying everything, trying to find some amount of speed to get back by that 44, but take us through that battle. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, that was an amazing race there against Logan. Probably one of the best, if not, I consider the best on the oval side right now. Man, yeah, I had a good start, right? Had everything going right for me, and then I wasn't expecting the slider that he did. Only having one monitor, I was kind of going off on noise, and by the time I realized he sent it in, he was already basically clear. And when I got back under him, I knew it was going to be tough. I mean, the bottom's not really where you want to be. And I can't run the bottom as good as Logan can. I feel like he can be just as quick as I can running the highland than he can on the bottom. So when he cleared me, I kind of knew my odds were a little bit shot. So I was just kind of riding and hoping that, he would go and maybe burn up his stuff a little bit, which, he didn't because, he's Logan Clampett. I mean, he knows what he's doing. So overall, I can't be too upset with this result. Obviously wanted to win, but to be that close and be that good against Logan, I can't be too disappointed with that. So.
Well, no cash prize tonight, but certainly a show put on there by the front two. Sebastian, thanks so much for talking to us. Congratulations on a job well done.
Yes, sir. Just quick thing, just shout out to Hendry and Elite, sponsors throughout the season, so I couldn't do it without them, so thank you to them, and have a good night, you too. That was an awesome race.
That was a lot of fun. Thanks, Sebastian.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, Logan Clampett made it look easy in the closing laps of that thing, and the driver that finished second, Logan, said that he thought you might burn up your tires, but of course he didn't. He knew what he was doing, is what he said. Logan, you're the Season 6 Area All-Star Race winner. What a battle. Those first 6-7 laps, over, under, left, right, tried everything. Went down there, throttled up into 3, and took that lead, and really never looked back from that point on. Take us through your battle with Sebastian tonight.
Yeah, I knew he was going to be really fast entering tonight. I mean, he's easily, one of the better oval drivers out there. We usually go head-to-head in every single official race that I'm in with him, if it's the truck, Xfinity car, anything. So he's always very, very fast. So once he got that really good start, I knew it was going to be really tough passing him on the bottom. And I don't know if he was trying to save his tires in the middle or what, but I knew he was going to be a little slower. So once I got a pretty good opportunity, maybe about half a car length, nose in front of him, I wanted to slide in 3 and 4. Well, tried to, and thankfully I did that, and he wasn't able to cross over and clear me. And it was basically just kind of conserve my tires and, just try and drive smooth. And I'm surprised his tires weren't more burnt out from running the top in 1 and 2 the entire time. But nonetheless, I just, it was really cool and really fun battle with him.
This car is pretty different from the cars that we run on most days of the week here in the Area Series. What's it like kind of stepping back to the Gen 4 car? And does this kind of create some excitement for the upcoming car that's coming to iRacing? Or is this kind of where it's at? Prefer another one? What's your thoughts on this?
Oh, for sure. I've usually liked the Gen 4 car. It drives, obviously, very similar to the ARCA car, except very high speed. And I haven't driven the ARCA car or Gen 4 in quite a while. So hopping into here with not a whole lot of practice. I was, a little like, hopefully I can get it down in the race. And, after the heat, I'm like, okay, I think I know what to do, and changed up a couple things in the feature, and I was a lot better. And it's Old Atlanta as well, which is definitely one of my better tracks, if not my best track here on the oval service. So, it was, very, very cool to race this car here.
And I'm sure you've won your fair share of money races in the iRacing service over the years. What's $100? $120, by the way. What's that going to for you?
Yeah, I'm not too certain right now. It's some fun spending money here and there, whether I want to go out or, kind of spoil myself or spoil my girlfriend or anything like that. And her family are, they watch every single race of mine. They're watching this one. So a big shout out to them and my family and my dad. So it's cool to win these races. They get really excited and stuff. So really, really awesome. Really awesome. So it'll go towards something pretty cool.
Logan Clampett wins the Season 6 Area All-Star Race. Logan, congratulations on a job well done, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you. Well, guys, maybe not a surprising winner, but the battle we got was A+ in the first 10 laps of this race, and I would like to see more of these cars more often because they are fun to watch, Finian.
Yeah, these guys put on an absolute show. The duel between Clampett and Marin that we saw was absolutely fantastic. They did not let off a single second those first couple laps. Completely side-by-side action. Neither driver wanted to give up because they knew what was on the line. And this is a fantastic shout-out to everyone in this race in general. We went the entire race green flag to flag. No caution out despite what was on the line. So fantastic job from everyone all around.
Yeah, I mean, from the very beginning in the Open to the very end in the main event, just unbelievable driving from all the drivers that participated in tonight's event. Looking forward to getting it back on track next week, Kyle, as we're going to go up north,
yes,
actually, to the border. We're going to Canada, Montreal to be exact, for both the Cup, the Truck, and the Pro Series. The Truck one was kind of last second because the setup that they ran for Knoxville in the testing stages was not available, and the setup that they ran in the testing session a week or so back just wasn't up to par. So they decided, you know what, we're going to make it a 3P for Montreal. So all 3 series heading up north.
Oh, excited for that. Heading to Quebec, Canada, and Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for our next round. Road racing, it didn't disappoint at Sonoma. I doubt it will north of the border. What a battle tonight. Logan Clampett, $120 richer, and the winner of the Season 6 Area iRacing All-Star Race. We'll see you in virtual Canada next week here on iRacing for the next round of the Area regular season. We'll see you there.